in the crowd.
crowd.
But let's take it a step back, bro. Let's take it a step back because
Right.
obviously I know you're an entrepreneur and you've gone so far on your journey. And one of the biggest things about entrepreneur is creating your own path. I've known you for almost 6 years now, alhamdulillah, and I've seen the growth in these 6 years, and I've seen the chances and the moments that you've taken. But no one knows the failures you had behind you. Everyone only sees your success. You know what I'm saying? No one knows the risks you took and the strategies and the plays you've made. So I remember you telling me about you had an epiphany to Poland a while back, and you spoke about how Poland was a game changer and it shifted your mind and it was a catalyst. So let's talk about that. Like, what happened exactly in Poland, and what made you something happened in Poland that basically gave you some kind of like profound insight. So let's talk about that.
It's an interesting one. Okay, Poland was one of my first countries other than Pakistan that I traveled to. So part of my past is also that I was a crazy sportsman. I was like one of the best in the country. Okay, very prominent as well. And because I did not have passport, they only gave me the opportunity to go for the training in Poland. And I was always, regardlessly, just selected in the national team all the time. But when you go to the national team selection, I mean, so you're selected, you know that you're going to the national team. It's when you are there on the first day, they put you in the team B because you're not Qatari. So regardless of how good you are, they will always put you in team B. The team A goes for tournaments and the team B goes for something called the camps. The camps are majorly they're international camps, and sometimes they're local as well. And I went to Poland with them the first time. Of course, being the best player did have its perks. Everybody wants to talk to me. That wasn't I think it was more to do with I spoke English as well, and none of the other people spoke English. So whoever could speak English in Poland would always, talk to me. But I was also good, so of course, part of that was also there because there were other people that could speak English as well. Now, what happened is that there is an embarrassing story. Okay, embarrassing story in a sense that there were younger players and there were older players like myself. So I was older, and the older ones on the last 2 days we were not having any training. This camp was extremely crazy. We have to wake up at 5 a.m. Then there's a 2.5 hours of running in the morning. Then we come for breakfast. Then we rest for half an hour, 1 hour. Then we go for training again for 3 hours. Then we eat. Then we have rest for 2 hours. Then we go for another 2 hours training. And then we sleep very early. So when the 3 weeks camp was over, everybody was really looking forward to some sort of rest. This was 3 weeks nonstop. It was crazy. Like I got inflammation all in my body. Yeah. And so everybody was just looking for that sort of, خلاص, I'm done. I don't want to go for any more training. And what happened is that all of these guys, I was not a very leadership oriented person back then. I was more of a follower because I'm actually introvert. Okay, I've realized that. It's just with a little bit of extrovert qualities. I like to speak to people, but I don't like to speak to group of people. If I see someone alone, I will attack. But if a group, my instincts don't allow it. Yeah. So we go out and it's Poland. I go from a country, the woman was something different for us, okay? We go to a country where woman is everywhere. I'm like, I want to move here. It's an embarrassing story. And the thing is that it gets embarrassing more because I'm not the one who did anything, okay? And I'm with these guys, and some of them, a majority of them are Qatari, and there were only 2 guys that were Pakistanis. And only the 2 guys got the blame. Okay, and those were 2 Pakistanis. Imagine. So all of us, we were just hanging around, and then they caught us with those mixed gathering. And for them, it was a red flag. There were 2 red flags. One, how can you mix with the Polish people? Not with the guys, with the girls. Okay, that was the red flag. Okay, so they were mixed. Okay, The second big problem was that we were wearing national clothes, national tracksuits with Qatar name on it, which I agree with. Okay, now what's the problem? The problem is that place where we were gathering was a park with a swimming pool. That specific day, to our luck, was 25 degrees with sun. Half of Poland was naked. So we were taking pictures in that area with our tracksuits. Okay, and only two guys got the backlashes. And I'm telling you, there were like at least 20 of us, okay? But only two of us got the backlash. They had to make a report. They had to say that there was an incident and there were these two guys only. So the only two guys that got the backlash was the two Pakistanis. And there's a funny story. I only knew this guy was Pakistani on the third last day. I thought all this time he was Qatari. He also thought I was Qatari. So we kind of didn't hang out the whole time.
Mm.
Okay. And when we were going back to the airport, nobody wants to talk to me. Now I'm guilty because they are making me feel guilty. I realized that later when I came, I'm like, but wait, there were so many people. There were so many people that went on that track, that had that experience. I went from the person who was the most looked upon a guy in the national team in that specific trip. We are in the national team. We're at the airport right now, and those guys that were looking at me and they kind of expressed that, Maraj, you're my idol. I want to be like you because it was really good. I'm telling you, there's no bragging. It was amazing. Let's say they went
No
from,
bragging.
I mean, whatever it is, they went from I look up to you to you're not a good person, Maraj, because they were younger, right? You think about, like, I was 16, they were 14, so they were in that phase, like, oh, you're not a good influence. And then the year later, I saw that I was not selected in national team, and I saw the pictures. That broke my heart, because for me, national team was not important. It was the traveling part. It was the traveling part. That was so sad. And I was thinking, I'm like, what can I do? What can I do to make myself feel better? It was always some sort of a thought process, whatever was going through my mind. I was thinking, what can I do to make to make myself feel better? Because this is gonna keep on continuing. They're gonna go without me every year to different places, and I'm gonna be seeing those photos. And I was like, I don't know if pursuing the same route is going to be an option anymore because I've been banned from national team. Okay, the books. So no matter what I do, I'm not going to achieve what I want to achieve. Instead, I started looking at different alternative routes, and that's where my brother, my elder brother, plays a very big role in the success. Usually, your father um, raises you up, right? My father was very strict, as I mentioned many times. On Saturdays, which is not a Friday, Friday was off in Doha, so no school on Friday, but Saturday also no school, right? Yeah, it's not an off day for us because my father owns a shop, a street of shops for car workshops, and he has a lot of stuff that he wants to move from block A to block B. So there was no point of setting it up because in the end it was still messy. The point was that the four brothers that we are total four brothers shouldn't be home not doing anything. That was my father's mentality, okay? Which was good as well. It made it more workaholic. But my brother was initially the person that really took the hits. He's like, Maraj, they want all of us to work according to whatever they want. But you know what? You go pursue whatever it takes to do. Go do internships. This was a newer sort of behavior that came into being. Like internships were not very known at the time I was getting one. Work, jobs, I don't know. Go study, do whatever you want. Okay, don't think about the family. So the brother was taking a lot of hits, and I think then the journey of the entrepreneurship starts from precisely there. In 2011. There is an interesting story, but unless you guys want to ask me a question, I will tell you the story later.
No, we'll.
So
I like this.
Yeah, we
Sorry.
want to get into this one.
Yeah, yeah. We
Yeah,
want.
right?
I wanna.
Yes.
No, no. I like. No, no. This obviously is the epiphany, and this is
Right.
the starting point of where everything started. And I kind of wanted to touch upon one thing because, uh, you know,